Okay, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Doctor Who review. This is episode 4, and this one we're discussing the 5th story for Tom Baker. Revenge of the Cybermen. Yeah, this was aired back in 1975, April 19th to May 10th. Yes, Tom Baker's first and only encounter with the Cybermen. Yes, that's not a joke. It seriously is true. And here's something you might find interesting about this. After this story, they appear again for, get this, 7 years. No more Cybermen. This technically was the first time they appeared in color. Yes, the last official time they appeared ever in Doctor Who, well, prior to the story, was way back in the Invasion. Yep. Back in 1968. So, they have to wait 7 years for their next appearance. Anybody thinking, really? Yeah. 7 years. And the next one came in 1982, which that was also 7 years later. Like, really? What's with the 7 years stuff? It's so weird. Though, luckily enough, when they came again also in the 5 Doctors, which came like a year later. But I think after that was I think they had to wait about 2 years. Yeah, 2 years after that. And then, and then after that one was 3 years. So, not long period of time in the 80s between appearances, but wow. Now, if the story for this one picks up right after the events of Genesis of Daleks, where the Doctor, Harry, and Sarah are back on the Ark. That they were back on for Ark in Space. So, this is an earlier point in time. Now, unlike the way it was with Destiny of Daleks, this is essentially it's the same set. They basically just make some slight alterations here and there. Yes, this was a budgetary reason, the reason why they basically saved this. At least they used it for a good chunk of the story. Though at least they don't have various creatures pop all over the place. Yeah. Like the way they did in the previous story for that one. Now, with this one's quite interesting. The Cybermen, they basically have this look for them. Mm-hmm. Yes, and their leader has got a black helmet. Yes, a black helmet. And so, basically, the Cybermen don't show up until I think episode 2, I think it is. Yeah, for this 4-part story. Yeah, I believe it's 4 parts, I'm not mistaken. I think it's 4 parts. Yeah, 4 parts it says. Yeah, this one's written by Gary Davis with Robert Holmes as an uncredited rewrite for this one. Yep. Now, they arrive on the space station. This, of course, Minerva is not an ark, but a beacon. It's technically a space station. That's simply what it is. And there's a plague on board. Though they find out the plague is actually caused by a cybermat. Fun fact about the Cybermats with this one. This will be the last time they appear for a long time. Yes, this will have the Cybermen themselves reappear, not the frickin' Cybermats. Yeah, that's something quite strange though about this. Yep. They don't reappear again until closing time. Yeah, that was the last known official time that they appeared. So after this, yeah, it wasn't the episode closed and it was aired back in 2011, roughly about 10 years ago. So they didn't return again for at least 36 years. Damn, that's a long time to keep a creature out, but yeah. The Cybermats are very weirdly designed. They're like these long snake creatures, and apparently they still bite, which is interesting. And they cause deaths, which that's strange to say the least. And like a good chunk of the crew were eliminated. And this is one of those few times where, like, basically the Doctor is there to witness a siege in the actual series. Now, by the Cybermen, not the first time this has happened. He is also with the Wheel in Space as well, which was the first appearance of Vicky, the last companion that the Patrick Troughton Doctor had before he ended his run. Yeah, and there's only about 2 people left in this whole space station by the time Doctor finally works things out, aside from the Professor. Yeah, because pretty much everybody else is dead. Oh yeah, and the Commander is an old man. And basically, by the end of the story, there's like 1 human left, and that's the Commander. Because his subordinate is basically with him. He gets killed by the Cybermen. Yeah. How the Cybermen get to the space station, which is quite interesting. Apparently, they stole an ancient spaceship. When they stole this, I have no idea. They also mentioned about the Cybermen Wars. Which, okay, this, even though it's set in the future, I'm like, okay. Like, they do, in fact, reference these type of wars in Nightmare in Silver. Because all the rest of the times they basically ripped the Cybermen, this war is never brought up at all. Yes. Though, by the time Nightmare in Silver came around, when they mentioned the war again, the Cybermen updated their looks. Yep. So, they get aboard the space station, and they actually shoot the Doctor. That's interesting, because they never actually shot Doctor before. No, not really. But they don't really kill him per se. They knock him unconscious. Along with the 2 other humans there. So, they have to basically deal with him. And apparently their plan is to get this planet gold, which apparently was involved with the Cyber Wars, where the humans invented the glitter gun, which easily can kill the Cybermen. Like, okay. I get the fact gold is a weakness, because indeed with a breathing process, but glitter? Seriously? And they do try to hurt them, but they just block it. Yeah. But they use it on the Cyberman and actually managed to kill 1 Cyberman with it. Actually about 2 before. And of course, the Cyber actually tries to hurt Doctor. He's not the first one to do this. Oh no. They actually did also an Earthshock and an Attack of the Cybermen, where the leader actually just, well, does this. But I'll talk about that when I talk about those 2 stories. Yep. The planet itself, Vorlos, which actually is after this point, does survive. The Cybermen themselves are pretty much eliminated by, of course, a missile known as the Sky Striker, probably one of the creatures of this planet. Yeah, and by the way, I should point out though, like, look at the scene again, like, wow, it reminds me of basically Moonbase, with them on the control console. It looked like a very similar scene. Let me look up right here. It's basically Moonbase, where they had the first redesign. Which they pretty much the look from that one they maintain here mostly. Oh yeah, and also their heads contain like little weapons now. Which by the time they show up with Earthshock, this is gone. Yep. The Earthshock version of Cybermen was when they returned in 1982. They actually keep that look up until Nightmare in Silver. But as my Cybermen story is actually pretty good. I enjoy this one. And the thing ends with, like, okay, so the contact with the Brigadier, they have to come back to them because it's an emergency. And that leads into terror of the Zygons. Yep. I might discuss that in the future, especially since, well, the creatures now do return in the current Who. Yep. But as for my Cybermen story, it's pretty good. I love it. I give this book, this particular story, a 9 out of 10. Yep. Nothing really. The only thing I thought was pretty kind of cheap here, unlike, is there something kind of with Destiny Italics? There's some cheapness here, mostly in the alien creatures who appear in this one. Yeah. It is quite obvious by looking at them. They're just people in masks. Yeah. They are called Voga. The Vogans. Yeah. Yeah, that's Yeah, their look is not very good. Also, it looked like though that one of the people sounded like the master. Yeah. No, not this guy. Yeah, Michael Wisher. Yes, the guy who played Devros in the original story. Yeah, he's here, but playing a different character. Yeah, I'm trying to find here because actually one guy sounds a lot like one of the guys played the Master. Yeah, but this is a pretty good story. I like the Cybermen's looks in here, and it is something that they don't maintain some of the looks, and also these Cybermen look really thin. Like wow, it's almost like they casted really skinny guys to play the Cybermen here. Yeah, it is completely obvious they casted skinny guys to fit in those suits. Though I can't say the same about the person who pops up in Attack of the Cybermen. Yeah. Oh, Cyber Leader is played by a man named Chris Robert, who actually is still alive. Yeah, he's surprisingly still alive. He only appeared in like 2 stories. He appeared in this one and The Mine Robber. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But here's a little fun little factoid. Second to last regular appearance of Harry Sullivan, because he leaves out from that very next story. Sarah Jane Smith stays until The Face of Evil. Yep. Yeah, that's when she leaves. Actually, it's A Hand of Fear, which is the second story of the 14th season of the show, which is from, bless you, the 3rd year of of Tom Baker's run, which that might be interesting to talk about when I get a chance to talk about more self-related Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it, particular review. Stay tuned for 7 Deadly Sins and a couple more Doctor Who reviews discussing stuff from Patrick Troughton's era. Yes, I have a couple of Patrick Troughton stories, which I'm very looking forward to talk about these ones. Okay, to the video. Bye.